Decided to pop the $80,000 can I go to flight school question after we were married.
Right.
So that
Smart,
worked. Yeah, that
smart.
worked pretty well for me.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm joined with Ryan Boucher. He is the school coordinator, flight instructor, and general doer of things around the whole school. Ryan, thank you very much for coming on the show.
Hey, thanks for having me. I appreciate the opportunity.
Well, it's been a long time coming. Your story is probably one of the most heartfelt stories for, overcoming adversity for getting into aviation.
Yeah.
But we'll come back and talk about that in a minute, okay? Go ahead and tell me what got you into aviation. What was the drive and the passion?
So I was that kid in high school who was obsessed with all things planes, trains, automobiles. So
Yep,
naturally,
same.
I wanted to be an engineer because my parents were scholars and educators, and that was the natural track for me. I didn't have either of them in aviation.
Okay.
So I went to UCF, went to aerospace engineering, got into my computer design classes and CAD, and decided that I did not absolutely want to do that in any circumstances. Did not enjoy that. So I decided that my uncle, who'd been a pilot, who had been, trying to turn me to the dark side since I was in high school, I decided to finally take his advice and haven't looked back.
Okay. So you were at UCF, graduated UCF, and then when the decision came that you wanted to start, pursuing aviation, you were working at a bank at that point, right?
Yeah, so I took a year. So I got my associate's degree from UCF, and then decided that I'm going to pursue some other things. Got a job in the industry, in banking, and decided to save up a little bit of money, and ended up. That was mostly because I met my wife, and I wanted to try and convince her to marry me. Right, had to make some money to do that. So decided to pop the $80,000 can I go to flight school question after we were married.
Right.
So that
Smart,
worked. Yeah, that
smart.
worked pretty well for me. So went into banking and didn't really enjoy that, but got a lot of good career experience and saved up a little bit of money, and that helped me be able to transition into flight training. I ended up joining the team here as like an assistant coordinator
Right.
in June of 2023.
Okay.
So I've been here a little over 2 years now.
And from 2 years, you've done private, instrument, commercial, CFI, CFI-I, multi-engine.
Yep, just waiting on an MEI. So, and I've loved every second of it. I have the coolest job in the world. I get to fly airplanes around.
Yep. And talk to people, which
And
you
talk
love
to-
doing that too. So,
That's the natural part of it. I mean, at the bank, you'd never stop.
yep.
So I guess you could say they got me into that habit.
And one of our, obviously new team members for Runway Life, but also a student at the school, you were directly responsible for bringing him in, Jonathan McKinstry.
Yes.
So,
yes.
You spoke to Jonathan on his birthday, same as I did, cool guy, came in, and now he's going to be working with us for Runway Life. So pretty
That's
cool.
all. Yeah, I'm glad he's going to be around even more often. I always enjoy getting to chat with him, and it's always nice when he brings his missus around as well.
Yep. So, okay. So we've done the fluff stuff. Go ahead and tell everybody why your adversity was probably pretty high up there as far as people getting into aviation.
So the only reason why it took me 2 years to get my ratings because I had to spend 8 months of the first 8 months of those 2 years fighting with the FAA to try and get my medical certificate.
Okay.
So in 2019, I was diagnosed with stage 4 Hodgkin's lymphoma. And by nothing but the grace of God, I made a full recovery in the fastest possible time frame and by all the best possible metrics that I could have. My oncologist told me that they didn't ever want to see me again.
Right.
And that I was clear to just go to a general practitioner again. And so I take that information to the FAA, say, hey, I go into my first medical appointment, and I'm not going to say the AMEs. This is not my friend, Dr.
Yes.
Weaver. This was a different AME. And takes my shirt off and goes, that's a port scar. I'm like, yeah, it is. He goes, why didn't you tell me about that? I'm like, well, I've been in remission for 5 years, and the oncologists don't want to see me anymore. He goes, well, you just failed that. So I need all I'm going to defer you to the FAA. And then he was very cold and was not very enthused with me at that point.
He's
From then
well
on.
known in the local area for being very cold, so yeah.
He is. Wish I had known Dr. Weaver for that one. This whole process probably would have been significantly easier if I had.
Yeah, I mean, Bruce is just amazing.
Yes. So fast forward, it takes about a month for me to even get the letters from the FAA where they're telling me what they need from me.
Right.
Well, they essentially say, we need everything. So I printed off, it was 240 pages of medical documents. And I had to send them over, mail them, old-fashioned snail mail them to the FAA.
Right.
Well, it took them a week. It took a week to get there, and then it took them 2 months to acknowledge that they had received the documents.
Mm-hmm.
Took them another 2 months to assign them to someone, and then took 3 months for that person to review them.
Yep.
And all while I was working at the school as an assistant coordinator and working on my written and just waiting.
Yep.
Because I couldn't apply for financing, I couldn't begin training, couldn't really do anything like that until I had the medical in hand. This was something that was a pretty big leap that I took, not realizing that this was going to be an 8-month process.
Right.
So
that's like putting me in a candy store, right? I mean, it's kind of pretty difficult to not want to eat the candy,
Yep.
right? And you were literally working around planes the entire time and not really getting to fly. Mm-hmm. So that must have been difficult.
It was very difficult, but it's not all for naught.
Yep.
Because in those 8 months, I don't think any of the instructors who were there or here anymore. They've all moved on. It's been so long. But I was really annoying.
No.
I got so me annoying never, right? I got so many free grounds.
Right.
I'd sit up at the desk. If I finished all my work for the day, I'd be like, Tim, what's this? And then he'd sit there for 15 minutes and humor me.
Yeah.
And then I'd grab Victor. Hey, what's this for 15 minutes? And then Sean and Julia and get them all and Derek was here when I was doing that or towards the end of it. And
you just gave me a great idea with Derek.
So Derek was my time building buddy.
Yep. I've heard the horror stories. I mean the stories.
The stories. So I learned a lot about not just flight training, but about the industry of aviation and how one can navigate their way through what is really a mess of an industry, especially in a time where airlines can't get their planes because airline companies have forgotten how to make planes.
Yep.
And there's a lot of stagnation in the industry before what's going to be a huge hiring wave in the next 2 to 3 years.
Right.
So it allows me to kind of see how I want to position myself because I got a lot of inside knowledge through networking and the people I got to meet, even just in those 8 months, not to mention the last year and a half that I've been here.
Yeah. Okay. So first off, thank you very much for coming on.
Yeah, it's my pleasure.
You know, your story is one that I wish, well, hopefully there's an awful lot of people that get to, watch this episode and understand that you can do it. It's perseverance, just because one grumpy AME tells you can't, find another AME. Get with a good one that is going to help you. Shout out to Bruce Weaver. Easily one of the best. Okay. Yes. But go ahead and tell everyone how they can get in touch with you if they want to do a tour, discovery flight, or find out more about becoming a pilot.
You can reach me as the flight school coordinator. You can either call or email. Phone number is 407-886-7612. And the email is the most difficult part of my job. It's info@landings plural.com. And it works pretty well when you put the S on the end of First Landings.
Yep. I get that with my email pretty regularly. So, okay.
But yeah, just you can address anything to me and then that will be forwarded to my attention. I'll be happy to help you guys out. Okay.
Well, anything else you want to add?
No, I don't think so. Just being in the air is worth it.
Yeah, 100%. You and I just did my BFR.
Yeah.
3 weeks ago, and that's biannual flight review. So I'm glad I'm back up in the air.
Yeah, we're glad to have you back up in the air.
Derek's trying to get me to go flying with him now, so
you should. He's a good instructor.
Well, He's a good friend.
Yeah, that too.
Anybody who wants to fly with me is a good friend at this point.
Yep.
Answer this for me. What are the top 5 questions that people need to have answered that they don't know they need to have answered?
The first one, first and foremost, is what is the school certified under?
Okay.
Right? Having a 141 school that allows you to do 141 or 61 completely at pilot discretion is a huge asset, because you have a level of standardization and excellence among your flight instructors and a level of monitoring coming down from our chief and dispatchers that make sure that your flight training is being taken seriously and you are not just being run like a rented mule for flight hours.
Right.
Because unfortunately, we've all heard, anyone who's interested in aviation has heard horror stories about that.
Yep.
And being associated with the 141 school, especially a small one, can be very beneficial.
The oversight.
Yeah, exactly. The oversight. It's a series of checks and balances.
Yep.
And it helps to make sure that everyone is being honest and doing the job as best as they can. Next one really is going to be payment schedule. Are they going to require you to put a $10,000 upfront non-refundable deposit? And then, you get sick, break your arm, and they're like, hey, I know that was your life savings. That's not our problem. Those kinds of things. So, like here, we don't have any required minimum deposit. That's a huge safety net and guarantee for you. Next, and this is probably the last one that I can think of that really people don't know to ask, is what's the policy when your instructor graduates? Because I've had so many people come in and say, hey, my instructor went to the airlines and now I'm just kind of floundering at my flight school. I get passed around like a hot potato and no one seems to know what to do with me.
Yep.
All right? It's so important that you have a school that has a dedicated primary and a dedicated secondary to you. And it cycles through. If one of them graduates, you're always going to have consistency and continue and through your training, regardless of how many instructors you actually go through. You're going to transition from one who overlaps with another, and then they're going to pick up the slack for one who graduates, and then the same thing, you're going to be assigned another secondary, and allows them to get caught up to speed on your training. In the event that the third one graduates, almost never do you get more than one graduation over the course of your training.
Right.
I've seen it maybe happen once here. And having that backup, having the secondary who's following you through your training with the primary is, a huge asset.
Yeah, and they know you, right?
Yes.
It's not like they're just showing up and going, oh, you must be Ryan. I guess I'm teaching you today.
Exactly.
Right?
They're not showing up and being like, okay, it looks like you did steep turns last time, so let's do steep turns again. And then you end up going and doing 10 hours of steep turns and nothing else.
You and I had enjoyed 10 hours of steep turns. We're kind of sadistic like that, but other people
Yes.
probably wouldn't.
Yes, exactly. If you're not dizzy, you're not doing enough.
Yes.
So those are like my top 3.
Okay.
If someone asks me like, okay, what am I not asking? Those are like the 3 go-to things. Some other things might be if there's ways to save money.
Right.
Because some flight schools have ways for you to enroll in a flight club, or for you to pay up front, or for you to do these things to save a little bit of money. A lot of times that price is not set in stone. So
Right.
if you're paying cash, there's usually some ways you can save some money. And then another one, this one is commonly asked, but isn't necessarily everyone asks it. What's included in the basic private pilot package?
Right.
Newsflash: no one graduates private pilot in 40 hours. National average is 86 hours. You're going to be probably somewhere between 60 and 80 hours if you're going to a good flight school.
Right.
All right? The 40-hour price is a lot different than the 60-hour price, which is a lot different than the 80-hour price. Know what price you're signing up for. Know what's included in it. If a flight school is not willing to be transparent with you on that, that's a major red flag.
Yeah, I can only think of one person that I know that's done it, and he did it in 36.8, which was Nicholas Bazzada.
Yeah, I know one other who did it in like 40.1, and that's it.
Right. And Nicholas did it because he was in 141.
Yeah. Yep.
but also he's just a stone cold killer when it comes to flight hours and training, right?
Yes.
And he just graduated his instrument inside of
minimums as
141.
well.
So that'll be he's going to be coming back on soon. So
Very nice. Yeah, well, that'll be a good episode. I'd love to hear his insights from instrument as well, because he was very efficient through that. That was cool watching him go through that.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks very much for coming on, Ryan. Take care and stay safe, everyone.